started. My alerts aren't there. There they go. I was like, where the heck did my alerts go? Anyway, ouch! I just bopped the heck out of my ankle joint there. Of all the things for the captions to get confused on. Anyway, we'll be playing Love Hues. Actually, I don't even need the keyboard. I might need the keyboard to type my name initially. Start game. Welcome to Love Hues. You'll be able to play this game as soon as you've agreed to the EULA and privacy policy, which can be found here. Oh, I have to open it. Really? This looks pretty boilerplate. Yeah, you can... please do not decompile or disassemble or copy it to a device you don't own without written permission. Basically, don't share the game outside of yourself so that people don't pirate it. They're the copyright holder for this game. If any one part of this is not enforceable, the rest of it is. Hooray, we just, we immediately needed to open and read a EULA. Don't you love that? It's kind of weird that, like, the end-user license agreement must be read. Usually, you know, the EULA is implied that you agree to it by, you know, enjoying the game. Oh, I like how they need to make sure they note that if the game's substantially updated, they need to make sure everyone knows that it won't do that. Yeah, this looks pretty boilerplate. Just like, hey, we borrowed all this music, and we needed to let you know how we modified it, because it's Creative Commons, but you don't get to change it, so... Yeah, this is all pretty boilerplate stuff. Nothing big. Ooh, content warnings or trigger notes. These are important. If you think you'll have trouble with flashing images, character injury, alcohol mentions, mental health discussions, or challenging relationships, be careful. That's the whole point of the content warning. They tell you to be very careful with the things that you don't handle well. Okay. Yeah. Pretty standard. Yes, I do want to close those tabs. Yeah, okay. I do agree to the EULA. Thank you. I just saw the list of potentially sensitive topics, but let's look at it again just to make sure. Oh, they got rid of the, character of everything and made it, as readable as possible. That's actually probably a good idea. But there's the content warnings. If you have trouble with any of these, be careful. Obviously, alcohol mention's probably one of the big common ones. Oh, one more detail before you start. Frequently uses data from your old playthroughs. Okay, so oh, this is a game that's, designed to keep playing over and over again to change the way, choices you made on a previous route could apply forward. That's not usually the case. I'm interested now. Usually, you just kind of, you play it to play it. There's no interaction between routes. I'm very interested now. Cross-route interactions kind of give this game a very, very high replay value, which usually you don't get in a VN. You're like, alright, well, I played this one route and I really liked it, and I don't want to ruin the story. Or, alright, I've played all the routes. There's only, 7 routes, but, the routes influencing each other and previous playthroughs influencing each other. I like that. That's a good gimmick. I don't know if that's intended to be a gimmick, but I like the sound of it. Alright, let's go. Now that we've gotten all our front matter out of the way. Or? Yeah? Just, or? Oh. Oh, this is, or, hear me? Oh, this is like opening and we're like asleep. This dream again. I know it'll fade away as soon as I wake up, no matter how much I try to hold on to it. There's a faint buzzing, a moth's shadow crowding out the burning sun. Someone's trying to shout my name, but the sound's always muffled and muted. I try to move forward, but my every step feels heavy and beleaguered. I want to reach the person who's calling out to me, but... Find me. Find me. Magnus, why do you gotta stab Papa? Huh? You gotta work on your aim, kitty. Sorry. My cat really likes to, like, you know, grab onto the back of my chair while he's stretching, because my bed's right there. But he doesn't aim very well, so he stabs me right in the back while he's doing it. Hang on, he's already been out of shape about the door. Let me get that. Fine. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. I can't leave the door open while I'm streaming. Come on. Come on. You know you want to come out here. Come on. Here we go. And now we get to enjoy the dulcet tones of Magnus scratching at the door while I try to stream. Everyone's favorite thing. Eventually this will not be a problem, but for now, I slowly came to and stretched. Before I could even think to turn on the lights in my room, I heard a metallic rattling outside my window. A ladder? I'd heard that familiar clattering for years. The gentle click as the mailbox was unlocked, the creak as its door was swung open, and the hollow clunking as the mail stuck inside. The postal worker had dropped off their daily mail into our family mailbox, and with it, maybe I'd finally see my acceptance letter. I'd rushed into some presentable daytime clothes before I stumbled down the steps of my house, overwhelmed by the sunlight outside. My eyes hurt and stung as they adjusted to their new surroundings, and I impatiently felt around for our family mailbox. Finally, my pupils were small enough that I could comfortably see again. I quickly opened the mailbox and ripped out a single letter. For a second, I couldn't breathe. Its envelope was a smooth cream white, and Falls' insignia was proudly printed on the front. My cry of excitement shrilled up in my throat when I realized that this wasn't necessarily my acceptance letter. I turned it over a few times, trying to focus on the velvety feel of its envelope instead of its contents. I'd wanted this since grade 10, to attend the most prestigious university in our province, to attend its amazing lectures, to walk through its facilities as one of its pupils. Was I really good enough to be accepted? I finally began to pick at the side of the envelope, and my hands shook. This was it. It tore a little bit. I peeled it open cautiously and gulped in a breath as I peeled out the letter. Dear, what is the name at the top of the acceptance letter? Please type your name on the keyboard and press enter once you're done. Well, since we're streaming, we're gonna go with Glacier, obviously. Or do we wanna have this be like an original character? I kinda want to go for like an original character name just broadly, just so I'm not like taken out of the narrative every time someone calls me Glacier, because it throws me off to hear my name or my username in public, so it would throw me off to what could we call this fine young protagonist? I'm really bad at names. You all know this. Let's say... I want to go with C. What names start with C? Charles, Colin... no, I don't like either of those. Well, if anybody in chat has name opinions, feel free to let me know. I'm gonna open a name generator because I'm very bad at names. Let me... name generator. Because I'm real bad at picking names. they said province, so they're probably in, like, Canada. Is Canada names an option in this generator? Canadian names, there it is. Casey, actually. Casey. Casey. I like that name. Dear Casey, we're delighted to tell you that you've been accepted to Falls West University. The academic year will begin on September 3rd, 20XX. I punched at the air in excitement and hopped on the spot, trying not to yell the neighborhood down. I was in. This was really happening. Please send us a passport-style photo of yourself along with your pronouns. We'll create your student ID within 1 week of receiving these items. Oh, right! I can't believe I'd forgotten about that, too. I can't believe I'm really going to Falls. Let's find that picture. I flipped through my phone's gallery eagerly. Here we go. What do we want to pick? I don't know what I want to pick. Like, if I want to stay immersed, I can pick this one. But I could also pick this one, because cute. I think... Let's go for immersion. The last big VN I played on this channel was Asagao, and that only had Hana as an option. So, this is Casey. Yes, that's me. Oh, yeah, let's go with they. Just, you know. I don't know. I'm feeling like Casey is a very neutral character. Let's go with they. I continue to skim the letter. You'll be staying in Sundial dormitories during your studies. Please find attached a list of textbooks that you'll need for your first year in your program. It's been built based on your chosen courses. Right, I'll be studying... Ooh. What will Casey be studying? I am very tempted to go fine arts. I don't think arts broadly. I don't want to pick arts broadly, and I literally already did a sciences degree myself, so I don't want to do that. I don't want to roleplay that. I had enough of that stress in my life. I wonder what open studies, like the open studies route, looks like. You know what? I'm feeling like fine arts. Fine arts is the pick that I'm feeling here. Just give chat a couple seconds to catch up. Make sure you guys you all have opinions or not. I should keep an eye on who's in chat, actually. Can I do that from the program I'm in? This is the wrong mouse pointer for that. The joys of using two computers. Okay. There is a way to see who's in chat right now, isn't there? Just me and Moobot for now. Well, I don't have to wait for any opinions then. We're picking fine arts. Feeling musical. I nodded. Luckily they'd gotten it right. The letter finished with another congratulations, but I didn't finish reading it as I ran inside. I needed to get my things packed and move to the dorms. My post-secondary career would kick off in 2 weeks. University, college, it's very exciting. I gazed at the large campus ahead of me and suddenly felt a bit self-conscious. My first day at Falls University was officially underway. It was bustling with activity on campus already. Volunteers in neon blue shirts walked around, helping dozens of new students. The welcome back fair was especially busy. People were browsing through the different booths to get free goodies and general information about the school. I guess I can always visit it once I have a lunch break. I had a vague recollection of where my English 131 class was, so I took a deep breath and walked through the oak doors of the general building. Hang on! Wait, no, very fit student. They need to have like a muscle boy voice. Hang on, please wait. Never mind, I picked the wrong voice. No, we're gonna lean in. A blonde student bolted towards me. Despite their lightning-fast sprint, they were barely out of breath. This person's lively for a Monday morning. So sorry, would you know where the language wing is? I've been running around for the last 30 minutes, but I'm totally lost. I think I've passed this hallway 3 times already. Make up a random route or follow me. Let's say follow me instead of trying to pass this poor person off just in a random direction. Follow me. Thank you so very much. You do look like you know where you're going. I'm glad I talked to you. I'm new too, actually. I just moved into the dorms a week ago, so I had a chance to learn the campus grounds. No way, that's so cool. Hang on. They rummaged through their bag and pulled out a schedule while we began to walk. Are you in English 131, Introduction to Academic Writing? Yeah, actually, I wasn't really interested in Intro to Classical Stories. Totally understandable. Are you headed to that class right now? I nodded, and they practically did a little leap of joy. We're classmates, that's so cool! Wow, really? I got their voices backwards. We're classmates, that's so cool! Wow, really? I guess we'll be able to keep each other updated on projects and stuff. Looks like it. Yeah. And then the conversation stopped. Eventually we glanced at anything but each other. The student cleared their throat and fiddled with their schedule. Finally, I gathered enough courage to speak again. So, do you... We accidentally spoke over each other. They shrunk away again and began to look for a way out. Oh no. Sorry, maybe I should... Suddenly I realized that we did have something else to chat about. Wait, did I miss your name? They immediately relaxed at their refreshingly easy question. No, I totally forgot to introduce myself. They blushed as they spoke, tucking a strand of hair tucking a strand of their hair back. Reading hard, I haven't done this in forever. Sorry, I'm so scatterbrained sometimes. I'm Toby. In terms of pronouns, I use they or them. I'm also non-binary. For sure, it's nice to meet you. Okay, so the default they them is correct. I'm so glad to have met a classmate already. I'm Casey. I have immediately forgotten their name, Toby. Right, yeah, me too. So this is Toby's voice. It's a little lower. Hopefully Toby doesn't have really extended scenes or my throat's gonna kill me. So, do you mind if I sit with you during English? Or have my captions ceased to function? Hello? Oh no. Do the captions not catch me when I'm, like, speaking in that voice? Wait a second. Why have the captions stopped? Hang on. Let me fix this. It's still... Hello? Captions? Hello, captions. I would like things to function? Thank you. Goodness gracious. Decided to not work for a while. So, do you mind if I sit with you during English? Thankfully, as an aside, thankfully the captions aren't as important when I'm speaking what's on the screen. But, anyway, I wouldn't mind at all if Toby sat next to us. Oh, thank you. They sighed so deeply in relief they almost seemed 2 inches shorter. I was afraid to ask. Thanks. Wait, why? Am I intimidating? No, not at all. I'm always worried about being too much and annoying people away, you know? Wait. Wait, I hit back. And here I am oversharing within the first few minutes of knowing you. No, you're cool. I get it. Don't worry, I'm already very happy I have at least one acquaintance here. Say, if you don't mind me asking, what program are you in? I'm in the Bachelor of Fine Arts program. Oh. My ex is actually in that program. Well, I've heard it's well accredited here. You'll surely go far. Toby paused, checking their schedule against the door that we now stood at. We're here. Let's go in and find a spot. Class will start shortly. We looked down the steps of the lecture hall together. Practically every row was crammed full of first-year students. Most people kept to themselves and set up their notebooks or laptops. Half the tense room flinched when a metal water bottle crashed and scattered onto the hard bottom floor. The seasoned professor up front hadn't even blinked, or nor did he bat an eye, as a poor first year scrambled down to pick it up. A thrill of excitement made my heart flutter once I'd recovered from the shock. My first lecture in a lecture hall at Falls. I bit my lip to hide the undoubtedly weird grin that threatened to take over my face. Toby gasped and then gestured to the front. Oh, there's still some empty seats near the front. We're in luck. This is all thanks to your excellent navigation skills. I'll get you coffee sometime as a reimbursement. Nah, anytime. Let's go down there. After everyone had settled down, only a few free seats remained. One of these seats was beside me. The lecture hall became completely quiet as the professor's computer whirred to life right after I'd grabbed my own supplies. If I hadn't turned to lift my laptop from my backpack, I wouldn't have seen the classroom door creak open one last time. A student with dark curls stuck his head around the corner, surveyed the situation, and strutted in with a confidence I could only dream of. He was still quiet enough that he somehow managed to avoid irking the professor. Just like us, he checked the room and resigned himself to the front row. Our eyes met. His gaze lit up as though he'd seen a long-lost friend, and I blinked back in surprise. By now, Toby looked at me, probably weirded out by the fact that it was taking me a minute to remove my laptop. The student finished his walk down the steps and joined my side with an easygoing smile. What do we give this guy a voice? Well, looks like no, I don't want to give him a nose voice just because he has glasses. He's got a little like main character okay. Well, looks like I'm right on time. His gaze slid from me to Toby and his grin faded a little bit. Time. Toby, it's been a while. You look well. Although his tone was warm, I just barely caught. Sentence is hard. Although his tone was warm, I just caught a barely audible flat undertone to it. I smiled nervously and turned my attention to the professor, squaring my shoulders a bit to try and discourage further conversation. One moment. My glasses have a smudge. Unacceptable. Here we are. However, Toby leaned further forward to glare at him. No, dude. This hostility was so unlike the Toby I knew so far that my discomfort multiplied tenfold. Why they gotta do this? I've been fine, yes, James. Why are you here? James? I've been at this school for just about 3 years, you know. It's not that weird for me to be on campus. It's very hard to do this voice while he's upset. By the way, you'll get wrinkles if you keep glaring. Cut it out. You can't be taking this class if you're a third-year student. Aren't you well past entry-level courses already? I am, but I didn't have to take English as a prerequisite up to now, so I just put it off. Didn't like essays. That's an unfortunate quality for a sciences-focused student. James just beamed back, unfazed. Irritably, Toby gestured at him and hissed. And, dude, this class has like 20 sections. How did you pick the same one as me? Well, I sensed there was someone in section 101B who utterly disliked me, so I simply had to enroll in it. Toby opened their mouth to reply, thought better of it, and gave up with an angry shrug. They rummaged through their backpack to set up their own notebook and pencils, giving me a chance to speak to the cheeky student who joined us, who probably needs a different voice because it's not as distinct. Or I would have if I had a chance. The awkward silence didn't last long enough for me to disturb. The professor stepped up to his podium and began his lecture. The next hour and a half remained a little awkward since Toby didn't interact with me due to the presence of the third-year student. My poor first lecture experience. I shook my head. I wouldn't let their bickering ruin my first day. After a few minutes, I'd be free. Suddenly, I heard a paper rustle on my right side. The third-year student slid me a note, keeping his eyes on the professor all the while. As soon as the professor looked down for a second, he gave me a warm, somewhat embarrassed smile that reduced my annoyance a bit. This better not be a phone number. I checked that Toby wasn't watching. They were still focused on the professor and pulled the note over. It crackled as I opened it. It's gonna be a phone number. Oh, no, it's not a phone number. We're good. Hi, sorry for that argument earlier. Didn't mean to have you literally in the middle of it, but I meant to greet you when I walked in. Toby and I just have a shared history, but we won't drag you into it. I'll try my best not to drag you into it. I'm trying not to let this voice slide into Milris. I glanced back to this professor. He was scribbling his contact info on the board, as well as links to the course syllabus. I quickly scribbled a reply back. It's okay. Was your name James? I'm Casey. He took no time in answering. Yep, it's a pleasure to meet you. As I said earlier, I'm a third-year student. Currently, I'm taking pre-med studies. He paused and tore off another small piece of paper. My GPA standing's at 3.8 if that works as a proof of my academic dedication. Oh, That's who this guy is. This guy is the I'm hoity-toity because I have large brain. Wow. The captions almost got that, actually. I'm very impressed. Do I want to goof or do I want to be stoic about it? I'm gonna write a dry, like, witty reply, hopefully. I flipped the paper over and wrote down my answer. Having a good GPA and gloating about it doesn't necessarily boost your personality standing. I slid it back to James, gauging his response. His gaze scanned the text, and he flinched a bit. He hastily scribbled the final reply. Sorry, I was kidding and bragging a tiny bit. I guess that wasn't very clear. As I read his final answer, I noticed that people were getting up and heading for their next classes. James stretched luxuriously, and Toby glared even harder at him. So, Casey, you a first-year student? I don't think I've seen you around before. Granted, we have 10,000 plus students, but yeah, I am. I actually upgraded my grades when I left high school, so I could have been a second-year student, but life happens, I guess. Relatable, Casey. I actually got that to work. Cool, you're 19, right? I nodded and James beamed. Yeah, I guess correctly. Either way, welcome to Falls. It's such a nice school. You'll fit in within a few weeks if you'd like a tour. Toby cleared their throat. Class is over, James. I heard pre-med's pretty intense. Don't you have another course to attend? I winced at how direct Toby's anger was this time. Even James seemed a little put off. He paused and scratched at the back of his head, but quickly recovered his gusto. Actually, I have a lunch break at the moment. I have some time on my hands. He turned to face me again, thoroughly ignoring Toby. Hang on. I sense door happening. Maybe not. The board just uncreaked. We're good. Where was I? Do you also have a break right now, Casey? We should hang out if you do. Actually, it might be nice to eat lunch with someone if you don't have any plans. Ugh, I was wrong about door.
Are you on live?
Yes.
Library wants it.
Oh, okay. Come on, library. Come here, Kit Kat. Come here, baby. Come on.
Where'd you go?
Oh, he walked off to the one side. Hi, Library Cat. Everybody say hi to Library. He's required to show up once every couple streams, aren't you, Kitty? Yeah, hi. Library Cat. That is his name. It's Library Cat. Fat Library Cat, isn't it? Aren't you? Yeah. He's just a sweet boy. You keep an eye on my books, don't you? Okay, over here. Come on. Ready, go? There we go. Alright, get comfy, kitty. Make sure these aren't the world exploding while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that's nothing explosive. Anyway, I'd like to have lunch with you too, Casey, if that's alright. Library, buddy. You know what? He can be here, it's fine. Toby finally managed to squeeze their own thoughts into James' enthusiastic speech. They'd somehow softened into resignation. They swallowed and pulled in their lips. I knew by now that eating with both of them at the same time probably wasn't a good idea. Do I want to dodge this problem or pick Toby or pick James? Hang on, affection points. Oh, Toby isn't like a... No, Toby's around. Okay. Hang on, I need to make a decision. Oh, I'm bad at these. I know there's certain routes that you can't get to. Like, I was reading the page for this game to make sure it was, you know, stream appropriate. And some of these routes you can't get. I think let's eat lunch with Toby. We'll come back for James. Great, I'll pay for us both. Great, I'll pay for us both. James blinked wide-eyed at Toby, and then me, and then Toby again, but he offered a good-natured shrug. Enjoy your lunch, you two. We headed out to the food court together, but Toby didn't really talk along the way. Instead, they kept their eyes locked on the tiles, linoleum, and polished wood of Fall's different rooms and corridors. Gotta keep an eye on the floor. When we arrived at the cafe, they finally glanced up from their feet, and their shoulders still drooped. After a few guilty sideways glances, they mumbled, I'm sorry for what happened back there. Seeing James, we go a ways back, and... They sighed and looked down again, folding their hands behind their back. I'm just trying to say thank you so much for giving me another chance. I'll work on being less petty. Oh, this has gotta be in Canada. Look at the menu, it says poutine. This is for sure. It said in Canada, it's gotta be. Let me pay you back with some hot chocolate or a coffee. They glanced ahead of themselves and frowned. The lineup's pretty long. Oh well. They nervously wove their fingers through each other again. Do you like sweets? I do like sweets. Does Casey like sweets though? I think Casey's is a sweets person. Oh, that's great. I actually work at a cafe downtown, so if you're ever craving for cakes, candies, or, you know, dessert, I know which ones are good. Come stop by sometime. What about you? Yeah, it's probably obvious, but I love sweets too. It's almost our turn. What do you want to eat? No, I don't get to make that decision. Cool. That was good. Nothing beats poutine around lunchtime. Cheese and gravy they use here is actually good, and the fries are nicely crispy too, don't you think? I licked the salt off my fingers and nodded in approval. It's certainly better than the dorm's food so far. Toby didn't respond to my quip at first. Suddenly, they gave me the same guilty look from before. I hate to whine so much, but I have to say this. I still feel gross and awful about what happened in class with James today, and I think there might be more friction between us in the future. I want to keep you out of our conflict. I don't want you to see me as classmate. Maybe I should talk about something other than how much I dislike James, huh? I did it again. I'll tell you about myself. Sure, and you know, don't worry about what happened today. It was definitely awkward, but you seem like a cool person. I want to get to know you beyond that. Really? Are you sure? Yeah, let's try this whole thing again. Oh my gosh, thank you. You're the cooler person here. Or the coolest or the most cool? It's okay, we can be mutually cool. Toby laughed and nodded. Right. They leaned their chin on their hand and smiled, a bit more confident. Their hair softly fell to the same side as their head tilted. It was enviably shiny now that it was caught in the rays of autumn sunlight. As you probably know, I'm a first-year student like you. I'm taking open studies for now, but I'm looking into getting into a field that requires a lot of physical activity. I want to help others if I can. I've been lucky enough to have help while I was struggling, and I want more people to have access to that too. That's pretty noble. They let out a bashful chuckle and shrugged. I don't think so. It's just the least I can do. For every mistake that I make, I want to do 2 good deeds. It doesn't fix the original mistake, but at least I can spread more happiness than harm that way. All that being said, I think my specific goal for this year will be becoming a better, stronger person. You'll be the Toby who can split diamond just by blinking your celestially muscled eyelids at it. If only, could you imagine? What would that power even be good for, though? Fair point. Take it for bragging rights anyway. In order to get said eyelids, though, I have to train. To that effect, I'd like to join Falls' soccer team. I know that means taking the word stronger literally, but, well, when I was younger, I was happiest when I was playing soccer in a team. I had to quit due to this and that, but I'm gonna try again. What do you think, Casey? Soccer for the way for me to become the best Tobes I can be? The new and improved Tobes? Why not? If it's something you love and you can do it, I think it'd be good. Really? I think so too. Hearing you agree makes me feel more certain of my choice. I'll succeed at this. Thank you. What a day. Oh, I love our dorm. Like the little burbo. Like the way the window looks. I like this. I've been trying not to comment on the art style of the game, but I like it. It feels kind of like very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like, it doesn't lean too hard into the realism. It lets itself be kind of fuzzy and blurry, and it's less focused on detail and more focused on getting the idea across. I like it. It feels a little bit like someone, you know, like blocking out the flats for a background and then adding, like, layer by layer more incidental color to get the point across, and only where it's needed. But that's only my impression based on how many backgrounds. So, anyway. I wonder what'll happen over the course of this semester. Oh, ooh, we did pick Toby's route. Okay. I like that. The next day, Casey. Just like on orientation day, Toby sprinted up to me cheerfully. Amazingly enough, they still didn't seem out of breath. Good Tuesday morning. The first round of the soccer tryouts are happening today. Oh my gosh, that's cute. A little, like, dance in place. Very cute. To tell you the truth, I'm really excited. So excited that I bought a jersey ahead of time. Wow. I mean, the coach will see how dedicated you are. That's good, right? Maybe. I don't know. What if he thinks I'm overeager? And to make matters worse, I was also so nervous that I only drank coffee this morning. Now I'm super jittery. Look at this. They offered a hand towards me. It was indeed quivering. Just a little bit. Let's reassure them. Sometimes a little caffeine's just what you need for your day. Oh, that's weird. Some of the paper texture is transparent there. Is that... That's gotta be intentional. Yeah, let's reassure them. You'll be alright, Toby. Right, you're totally right. If I've got you cheering me on, I have to be brave and relax. You can let go of my hand now if you'd like. Of course. I don't mind if you hold on for a few more seconds. Unless I'm just talking in circles now, aren't I? That was not a very good read. Unless I'm just talking in circles now, aren't I? Sorry. They gently pulled their hand away. I'll do my best today. Would you like to come watch? If you have time, I'd love to see you there. They checked their phone and flinched. Oh, look at the time. I'm gonna be late for my human anatomy class. I better run. If you do want to come watch the tryouts, I'll be trying out for the team at 2 p.m. sharp today. You bet I'll be there. I'll be your biggest fan. Okay, well, I won't keep you any longer. I'm sure you have class too. I'll see you then. That afternoon came pretty quickly. Although I got lost, I now stood in the stands, scanning the fields for Toby at 2:05 p.m. As I'd hurried in, I only had a moment to admire the fall's indoor soccer field. As our province's winter pretty much ran from September to May, Falls had built an all-weather soccer facility with plush artificial grass, an arena of seats, and a fortified glass overhead ceiling. I focused my attention on the tryouts again, somewhat guiltily. Several eager participants darted over onto the field. What did I tell you? We're gonna hear Magnus scratching. Although they came in all shapes and sizes, many of the players on the field were fairly muscular. Finally, I spotted Toby, a small but agile speck among the rest of the participants. They completed the exercises with finesse and enthusiasm. Their incredible stamina amazed me more than ever. Where the non-muscular players were already slowing down and trying to catch their breath, Toby just kept going. They easily skirted through the field, dodged left and right, and they made perfect passes to their potential teammates. I narrowed my eyes and tried my best to make sense of what they were doing exactly, but sports weren't really my forte. I'd resigned myself to just appreciating Toby's soccer potential instead. The bench creaked close to me and I glanced up, startled to see a single other student in the bleachers. Hey, can I sit beside... Wait, no. I needed... voice. Activate voice. Hey, can I sit beside you? Of course. She took the spot on my left-hand side. Nova, it's good to meet you. We watched together for a while and she cleared her throat. Not really a popular event, huh? No, but I'm sure more people would come for a match. Not really, from what I've heard. Oh. She yawned and leaned forward so their chin rested on her hands. It's probably because we don't have a cute mascot. We haven't had a mascot since Fall's founding. Oh. She shrugged. Usually I don't really visit these kind of things either, but a friend of a friend's trying out today, so I put on my most soccer-y outfit to cheer them on. Really soccer-y, right? I honestly couldn't tell if she was joking, so I just chuckled vaguely. It's good of you to... It's kind of you to support your friend's friend. Well, I know them somewhat personally, too. I wanted to see them succeed. Did I mean to click that? I did not. Do we want to know about who she's cheering on, or who she is? I think I want to know who she is more than who she's here for. Nova? We've just been over this. I kid. Are you asking what program I'm in, or how I know Toby? Oh, Toby. My friend spends a lot of time with him. They're both into arts, so we've hung out on the occasion. As to what program I'm taking, it's a Bachelor of Arts with a major in Native Studies and a minor in History. Oh, I'm taking Fine Arts. Cool. Oh, they're continuing. The triads changed into more of an endurance style evaluation as the makeshift teams passed the ball to each other in a small soccer match. Toby's passes remained clean, timely, and accurate, but along with the other smaller frame players, they were beginning to tire out. Right as they reached their limit, well done, everyone. That's it for today. Hopefully we don't hear a lot from the soccer coach, because I'm not going to be able to hold this accent. We'll have the results out in a few weeks at most. Toby picked up some of the soccer balls and pylons around the field and handed it over to the coach in question before they scanned the bleachers. Their gaze fell on me and lit up with joy. They leapt up and waved enthusiastically. Casey, hi. Thank you for coming. No problem. Let's meet the gym. Yeah, I'll be there ASAP. Wait for me, okay? Of course. Oh, also, hi, Nova. Hi. Thanks for the acknowledgments. Undeterred, or perhaps returning the dry remark, Toby cheerfully shouted, No problem. Come back to Teal Moon sometime, okay? Of course, Tobes. After flashing another quick smile, Toby hurried off to the field's supply shed and then rushed back into Falls' main building. Nova nodded, dusted off her pants, and smiled. That's your cue. See you later. Don't mind the dog whining. Frank does not handle storms well, and for some reason Jason has not been keeping an eye on Frank right now. Anyway, Toby hurried out of the change room. I didn't have to wait more than a minute for them. Their hair still dripped from the shower water. Look at that cute little, coffee cup with little, hands on the back of that computer. Blessed. I love it. That brightened my day immensely. Thank you so much for this. Soccer, rugby, and hockey. This is like overtly trying to be Canadian. Casey, thank you for coming. I keep accidentally clicking the check how people feel about you button. I think I did pretty well. I need to work on my endurance though. Wait, can I automatically have this read every now and again? No, that's too fast. Okay, let's go back a couple lines. But I think I can make it in. I'm so excited. That's really great, Toby. Isn't it? I know. Let's go get some ice cream. It'll be my treat. Toby's sudden winds attracted my attention. They almost stumbled to a halt and held onto a nearby locker, resting their hand on their leg. Ugh, ow. Are you okay? Did you hurt yourself? I'm alright. It's a childhood injury. My left leg sometimes acts up. It'll pass soon enough. Usually if I keep walking, the pain eases off a bit. Well, I mean, they did just say the pain will ease off a bit if they keep walking. And they're the one with the leg injury, so they'll know. Let's keep walking. Toby tried to follow me, but their knee buckled again. They hastily sat down on a nearby bench. Oof, I know that feeling. Sorry, Casey, I overestimated it. Really is too sore to walk on. Go on ahead. I'll buy something for you some other time. Are you sure? I can wait. It's okay. I'll probably be here for a while yet. I'll see you later. Yeah, see you in a while. They sat down on a nearby bench and waved as I headed out. I wandered through the hallways as I tried to find my next class. Even though Falls had only a handful of buildings, they were still sprawling enough for me to get lost. I sighed and hurried on. I didn't want to be late. I heard some humming from further up the hallway. I skidded around a corner and quickly spotted James. He paused and turned around to investigate the squeaky rubber sound. Ooh, Well, Casey, it's good to see you. He was wearing a brightly colored volunteer badge. Likewise, what are you volunteering for? Students' Union, you should join us. I'm okay. Not the most convincing recruitment pitch, huh? No worries. You heard of the ice skating festival? I shook my head. I'm in a hurry though, I can't find my class. It's definitely one of the challenges of being a first year. Here, let me hand you a pamphlet and I'll point you in the right direction. Don't worry, I promise this will take 28.6 seconds. I've practiced. Okay, impress me then. Got it. Basically, the Students' Union holds a big ice skating festival every year. If you're interested in someone, I've heard this is a pretty good time to ask them out. There's lots to do and see, so the day probably won't get awkward. No guarantees, though. We won't refund you if it is. Alright. Somebody timed me. Was I anywhere close to the correct amount of time? I think it'll be good. I'd recommend going. Anyway, let's find this class. Which one is it? For the record, that did feel like 28.6 seconds. Good. Maybe Dev will give me a promotion now. He chuckled at the idea and gave me a school map from his pamphlet stack. Thanks. My class is in GB 203. Am I in the right building at least? Yeah, fortunately. You're just on the wrong floor. Climb one higher and you'll be good to go. Anyway, I'll be off before Devlin chastises me for goofing off or something. That was a terrible read. I'll be off before Devlin chastises me for goofing off or something. He has a weird sense to that kind of thing. You have a good evening, and I hope you'll find your class soon. He smiled and walked along, balancing his stack of pamphlets. His dialogue feels very formal, and I say that as someone who accidentally writes really formal dialogue all the time. The next day, I hurried to class. I was a little late again, but hopefully I could still catch Toby before it started. It was hard to believe that it was Wednesday already. I couldn't wait to ask them about the ice skating festival. It'd be the perfect opportunity to get to know them better. The great outdoors didn't appeal that much to me, but since Toby was so sporty, it should suit them perfectly. I did my usual corner skid and saw a familiar person up ahead. Hey, Toby. Hey, what's the rush? Just wanted to catch up to you. Say. Oh, hang on. Give me a few seconds, please. I took a few minutes to catch my breath, and Toby simply grinned, stretched, and slowed down their pace for me. Deep breaths, Casey. You'll be okay in no time if you don't have asthma or anything. While you're doing that... They rummaged through their pockets and gave me a slip of paper. Here, I forgot to give you my number when we met. We won't have to charge through the halls to find each other this way. That's a good point. And thanks, I'll add you to my... I gulped down some air and looked at them. That's better. Have you heard of the ice skating festival? I have. It could be fun. I was never into school events, but I'm trying to change that. This one sounds like a good start. You going with some? Not yet. You want to go with me? Or... or, not planning on it. Okay. Obviously, we want to say wiggle the eyebrows or not yet. Do you want to go with me? As fun of a response as wiggle my eyebrows is, I think I want to aim for not yet. Well, we'll give Stream Delay a little time to see if anyone needs to consider their options here. Oh, I see in chat is Lurks. Thank you for lurking, Lurks. I'm sure that's the whole joke about their username. They just kind of lurk. Make sure my phone isn't on fire. I have many notifications. I think I know who we're gonna go raid after this if they're still alive. Anyway, that's plenty of time for y'all to have made a decision, I think. I'm gonna say not yet. The wiggle my eyebrows will do on a later, if we play this route again. Sorry, I can't go. Oh, no, dude. No, dude, did we pick the wrong one? We obviously picked the wrong one. Sorry, I can't go. Maybe next time. Oh, look at the time. We'll be late at this rate. Let's hurry and beat James to class again. Hang on. Did I lose points? I definitely lost points for that. As we rolled into the third week of class, I quickly noticed that Toby was still anxiously waiting for the results of the tryouts. They'd constantly check the soccer team's various sources for news. I shook my head. I wanted to worry about them, but I had to get back to my homework. It's a shame. This was supposed to be my weekend off. With a sigh, I continued to review some of my homework when my phone buzzed on my desk. This is a pretty good, things are happening. Sorry, I'm already picking this apart. I need to enjoy it and then pick it apart. Yeah, phone buzzed on my desk. Probably a text. I'll get back to... It buzzed. And again. I flipped it over and noticed Toby was calling me. I accepted the call and quickly plugged my earbuds into my phone. No, earbuds, so I'll just hold my phone like this. Hey, Toby, are you still holding up okay? I'm okay, yeah. Thinking about the tryouts? Yeah, but I do think I did well enough to get in. You mind chatting for a while? Nah, not at all. What's on your mind? Nothing serious. I just wanted to ask. Hey, Tubbs! Oh, of course they have a deep voice. A cheerful, deep voice yelled so loudly that I ripped out an earbud with a wince. Quinn, I'm trying to talk to... Shh. I can't go. I don't know that I can go any lower than Toby's existing voice. Hang on. Shh. Let me guess. He hummed for a good 10 seconds. I dryly wondered how he hadn't run out of breath yet. I didn't take a good enough breath for that freaking hum. Casey, yeah. Yeah. Quinn, stop it. Alright. Hi, Casey. His tone was friendly enough. Hi, so you're Quinn? That's me. I'm Toby's older brother. I have a comically low voice. It's nice to meet you, or hear you, I suppose. Have you been kind to them? I heard Toby wince in embarrassment. Ooh. Of course. Why wouldn't I be? Good. They're my only youngest sibling, so I'm counting on you. I cannot. Please, Quinn, leave the scene. Quinn. Alright, come down for supper soon, Toby. We're having sweet potatoes tonight. It's not every night that I'm over. Okay. Talk to you soon. Their phone rattled, and shortly afterwards it was quiet again. Their phone rattled? When is this set? I mean, they clearly just had a cell phone. I'm confused. Sorry about that. It's okay. Don't worry about it. He's a pretty typical older brother, huh? He's... something else. They sighed and shuffled around on the other side again. I guess I'd better go soon, but I was wondering if you'd like to visit the Teal Moon Cafe on Sunday? We're doing a special chocolate tasting afternoon. Special chocolates? No way! I think I'll have to take you up on that. Cool, the atmosphere's really nice too, I promise. If you drop by at 3 p.m., the first rush of visitors should be over, and I'll be nearly done with my shift. So I'll be able to join you, if that's okay. Of course. Thanks for the insider tip. It'll be our pre-tryout acceptance celebration. I like that idea. I'll see you then, right? Yeah, till then. I I studied through the rest of Friday evening and Saturday, and by the time Sunday afternoon came around, my brain felt like a useless pile of mush. That's relatable. Maybe taking a break today was a good idea after all. I sighed and closed my books, briefly debating if I should opt to tidy my desk while I was waiting for 3 p.m. The piles of candy wrappers, coffee cups, textbooks, and notes were so intimidating that I hastily decided against it, despite all the wrappers. And yes, I do actually have a bunch of wrappers on this one desk. I have been meaning to pick them up. Instead, I got up with a tired grunt and began to sort through my closet. What kind of cafe did Toby work at anyway? What kind of outfit should I wear? After searching for interior pictures of the cafe for about half an hour without any success, I rarely settled for my usual outfit. Toby would have told me if it was particularly formal, so I'd have to do. I checked the clock. Well, it's 1:50. Now's as good a time as ever to head out. I hurried out of the dorms and down the road, and hopped onto the first bus that headed for Teal Moon. As we rushed past the multitude of little houses that decorated Falls and its surrounding areas, I admired how the city seemed to be built around Falls. I was too tired to notice it on the day that I moved into the dorms, but there weren't really any major corporations around here. Just little family-run businesses and a few high schools here or there. It was kind of amazing to think a community like this was practically self-sufficient. Did Falls' existence really generate that many jobs? Musing about this and admiring the unique architecture of the city around me felt refreshing after all the reading I'd done. I leaned my head against the window and enjoyed the journey as we rattled to our destination. I glanced about myself a little nervously as the bus pulled away. Was I even in the correct neighborhood? After I'd wandered past a few random houses, I finally spotted a street that was dedicated to little stores. A shoe shop, a bookstore, and the Teal Moon Cafe. It looked inviting enough from the outside. I checked my phone, ignoring the unread text notification at the top of the screen. Apparently it was 2:50 p.m. by now. I gently grasped the door handle and let myself in. The first thing I noticed was the smell of fresh bread, sweet pastries, and chocolate, as well as the cafe's board. Sorry, I looked at the community board, and that's where my brain went. The first thing I noticed was the smell of fresh bread, sweet pastries, and chocolate, as well as the cafe's warmth. It also just looked so cozy that the rest of my weekend stress began to melt away. Oh, hi! Toby stumbled to a halt in front of me carrying a plate full of sweets. They cautiously put it on the only empty table at the cafe and faced me again, smiling sheepishly. I like those two little hearts. Very nice. Not the coolest entrance on my part, but welcome to Teal Moon Cafe. I'm really happy you could make it. Seeing Toby in this brand new uniform, excited despite the fact that they were a little bit flustered, made me feel... Oh no, we have to pick whether this is the platonic path or the romantic path. Oh, I wasn't looking forward to this. I was not looking forward to this. I don't know if I want to pick the platonic path or the romantic path. I'm flipping a coin. I'm not agonizing over this for a billion years. If I can find a coin, I have coins somewhere here. Where they all went, I'll never know, but here's a coin. Alright, heads platonic path. Of course it went behind the computer. Why wouldn't it go behind the computer? And it didn't even land flat. Let's do this a little less ostentatiously. Is that heads or tails? Okay, that's heads. This coin is super corroded, as you can see. It's not in the best shape. But we got heads, so yeah. Platonic path it is. Hang on, how many heads can I get in a row here? That's 3. Okay, 3 in a row, that's fine. Anyway, platonic path is... If you want the romantic path, let me know. But platonic path for now. It was fun seeing my new friend in such a good mood. They've been kind of broody every English class unless James was absent, and it was fun seeing them in a different context. I would have replaced that second fun with a great, but I need to not critique this until I'm done with it. Oh, before I forget, Casey, did you see my text? I noticed a nearby patron look up as they said my name, but he went back to drinking his soup with his companion. I shrugged it off and looked back to Toby. Sorry, no, I only checked my phone for the time when I was right outside the cafe. Is that so? Well, another waiter with tousled hair and a coffee stain on his shirt hurried up behind Toby. Toby, a patron wants to see you, they're ready to pay. I'll be right there, I'll speak to this customer, don't worry. And off zooped Toby. Toby shot me a plaintive look, but hurried off, promising something unintelligible over their shoulder. My new waiter smiled politely. I'm sorry to say we currently don't have any additional seats, but a new seat should open up in like 10 minutes or so. You're welcome to... A strangely familiar voice cleared his throat. The man at the nearby table stood up and smiled at me. Strangely familiar. Do we know this person? You can join us. We'll be gone right away anyway. That's not the voice I'm giving this guy. That's too similar to James. I'll think about a voice later. I stared back at him, but my stressed waiter nodded agreeably and hurried off to a particularly demanding patron at a distant table. Not seeing much of a recourse, I reluctantly shuffled over to him, and he beamed. Oh, dude, this person has like an arm sleeve. I saw that like the second the text was gone. Okay, we need to actually make a voice. Let's give this person the kind of nosy voice. That is, you can join us if you're Tobes, Casey. Otherwise, you'll have to find another table. Are you a friend of Toby's? Oh no, this is Quinn. I'm making an executive decision. Quinn does not have the turbo low voice. Hang on, okay. Executive decision. Quinn has been described as having a low voice. So we're giving Quinn the voice that I've been using for Toby, and we're gonna give Toby kind of a nose voice. Sound good? We're swapping their voices, because I apparently got the upside down impression of these characters. So from now on, Quinn's gonna sound a little bit like this. I'm their brother Quinn, actually. It's a pleasure to meet you. Oh, and this is my sister Sarah. And not Tobias, Toby. Toby's gonna be a little nosy like this. You know, they were a little worried that we didn't check the text on our phone, but it's fine. Anyway, Sister Sarah. Hello. I have one female voice, you'll have to excuse me. Judging by our brief earlier interaction, I really didn't know how I felt about spending time with Toby's older brother. My palms started to sweat. This must have been why Toby texted me, right? To warn me? I was less afraid of Sarah. She was munching away on a slice of cheesecake and had a few chocolate pieces and chocolate-covered fruits on her plate. I like her little singular braid behind the ear. Very cute. She was blushing faintly, so she was either as uncomfortable as me or she was shy. I definitely emphasized deeply. Well, Casey, that was an underwhelming response. Tobes is a responsible kid, so I assumed you'd listen when they told you we were here today. I expected too much of you, obviously. There were so many assumptions in that statement I could only open and close my mouth a few times in shock. No rebuttal came out. It was only when Quinn blinked sardonically that I stopped, thoroughly red and embarrassed. Oh, I'm sorry about Quinn. I'm embarrassed he's my brother sometimes. She prodded his side and Quinn laughed. Is Quinn wearing a glove or is that a tattoo? What do you think? Let's place our bets here. I Guess I shouldn't cause too much trouble. Wouldn't want to upset you or Tobes. Yep. Anyways, he said I'm Sarah. She laughed weakly. I'd shake your hand, but it's covered in chocolate. I'm so sorry. It's okay. Sarah gave a furtive nod and looked down at her plate again, taking another bite of her pastry. Quinn looked down his nose at me, furrowing his brows. I could practically feel the "you're not good enough for my sibling" talk bubble up, and I'd barely known Toby for more than a few weeks. Ugh. I nervously looked down for a minute, trying to make up my mind. Should I stay and try to get along with Toby's siblings, or should I leave? Toby probably wouldn't be upset if I did. We're definitely staying. We're staying. You know why we're staying? Because even though this is the platonic route, we want to get on with their siblings. You know? Stay. I pressed my hands together. We'd had an awkward start, but it couldn't hurt to get to know them more. If nothing else, it was good networking practice. Ugh, the word alone made me shudder. I didn't want to run away from Quinn. Something about him was so irritating that I wanted to hold my chin high and show him he couldn't intimidate me. Toby was my friend. There was no way he would derail our bond. I'm sorry. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Toby hadn't told me that you were visiting as well, but I'm glad I get to meet you both. Quinn yawned and shrugged indifferently. Likewise, honestly. When Toby started at Falls, they seemed a little sad, but they perked up after they got to know you. So, you're here for the chocolate tasting too, right? Yeah. What do you recommend? Before Sarah could share her thoughts... Sarah, Quinn, I'm sorry I didn't catch Casey up yet. It's okay. We figured it out. Be careful running around with that leg of yours, Toby. There are a bunch of things to run into at this cafe. Don't worry, I'm an expert at dodging Teal Moon's various hazards. Casey, it looks like you didn't get food yet. Can I show you our chocolate options today? I'd love that. Let's go. I got up and followed Toby over to a chocolate buffet. I grabbed a plate and eagerly looked down the line of treats, feeling slightly more okay with my decision to stay. Toby stepped beside me and cleared their throat. I'm so sorry. I meant to tell you that my siblings, and especially Quinn, were stopping by before you arrived. I didn't actually realize they were coming until an hour ago. They'd seen an ad for the event online and texted me to let me know they'd be in. I tried to reach you, but I was too late. I'm sure Sarah was fine, but my brother didn't give you a hard time, did he? Oh, no. Quinn's great. They winced at my flat expression and nodded. Okay, he did. Again, I'm really sorry. When we talked over the phone the other night, I made him sound like a jerk, and he's kind of acting like one, but he's really not a bad guy. He just had a rough time during high school, so he's really blunt and kind of rude sometimes as a result. He saw how badly I was affected by my last close relationship with someone, so he's being protective even though we're just friends. It's not really fair to you, I know. I'll ask him to stop. I see. It's not your fault, Toby. I'm kind of glad I know that he doesn't actually hate me or anything. No, of course not. I've said nothing but positive things about you whenever he visited the house. They flustered? They looked flustered. Can you use flustered as a verb like that? I really hope you can. That's kind of nice. Stealing that. They flustered and shook their head. You know what I mean. Anyways, being ridiculous. You're really just my friend. Like, literally just my friend. I'll tell him to cut it out after he leaves today. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'll be okay for today, though. Okay, so with that out of the way, we have 3 chocolate fountains today with rich hazelnut milk chocolate, raspberry tinged white chocolate, and the sea salt dark chocolate flavors, respectively. We've ordered our fruits and vegetables for these fountains from nearby farmers, so it's all super local and the produce is organic as well. They wandered a little farther down the elegant table and gestured at a platter of beautifully decorated chocolate. These are artisan chocolates. Some of them are made by a local chocolatier, and others were made by the staff here, but they're all lovingly handcrafted. As Toby began to describe how the chocolates had been made, their smile became brighter and brighter. So Toby likes making sweets. Noted. Oh, or at least they love their job. We have simple, pure, milk and white chocolate. We also have a large variety of chocolates with fillings such as apple pie, cinnamon cranberry, and honey praline. We have a chart describing which contains which flavors here. By the time Toby finished describing their selection and their pastry choices, I had already half covered my plate with sweets and some fruits for balance sake. I smiled gratefully at them. Thanks, Toby. I think I've got the most premium selection now. You bet. I really hope you enjoy them. Tell me what you think later, okay? My shift's almost done, so I'll change and join you, Sarah and Quinn. The awkward conversation won't last much longer. Cool. See you soon. Quinn was contentedly finishing his pile of chocolate-covered fruit and looked up at me as I approached. Hi again. Welcome back. I expect Toby recommended the best chocolates. They do have an eye for that kind of thing. They did, actually. I sat down with my platter and took a strawberry. It was pleasantly sweet, crisp, and not squishy. Oh, goodness gracious. I still have another, hour. I think these aren't sleepy yawns, but using my voice and my face more than usual yawns. Used to really only get those while I sing, but guess it's the case now. So you two know about me, but I don't know a lot about you. Is it okay if I ask a few questions? I guess. Of course. I turned to the ever-friendly Sarah first. She clenched her hands together. A little... Oh, they have that backwards. Wait, no, I have that backwards. Brain melting. Brain deactivated. She clenched her hands together a little tighter and offered a shy smile. What would you like to know? How are you finding the event? Are you a university student, or how old are you? So I assume she's the middle sibling, so that would actually be really, really good information to have. Let's ask if she's a university student, because that might get us how old are you by proxy. I actually graduated earlier this year, but yeah, I used to study at Falls. Stayed in the dorms and everything too, though I've moved out of town since. Okay, so she's the oldest sister, probably then. I took a bachelor's in education. I want to teach high school students to ensure they feel supported and get enough guidance to be happy adults. Quinn offered another wry smile, but it was softer this time. I expect my exploits may have factored into your decision to pursue that. Right, Sarah? Well, I always wanted to teach others. I nodded and glanced behind me, and Toby hurried toward us. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late. I had some closing out to do. They'd picked out a little neat circle of treats for themselves, and were already munching on two. It's okay, Tobes. We've been keeping busy interrogating Casey. The way he's been speaking to me makes that feel more like an actual statement than a joke. Vintage you, naturally. Has Casey met your impeccable standards yet? So far, so good. Speaking of which, what did you come up with a question for me as well? He turned back to me and waited, leaving me no option but to fumble a good question together for him. What are your hobbies? Petting dogs and dropping by cafes, to be honest. Bye, Sarah. Same, believe it or not. Cool. What's your favorite cafe? I don't know many around Falls yet, minus Teal Moon. There's this neat little cafe near my house in my hometown. The name's escaping me right now. You'd walk up a little path that was surrounded by sunflowers, and when you entered it, there was a cute little kitchen to the right of the entrance. The staff made incredible food, teas, and lattes, and they had a piano for anyone to play, as well as local artist paintings for sale.
Sounds like a neat place.
That was the nicest thing he'd said to me so far. I grinned and nodded. I'll tell you what the name is when I remember. Can I name it? Am I allowed to name the cafe? Oh, no. Not yet, anyway. Are you all getting the audio here? Okay, you can hear the background music. Okay, I just needed to check that. After they finished their treats, Sarah and Quinn dusted themselves off and got up.
It's good to see you again, Tobes. Keep looking after yourself, okay?
Yeah, remember to rest enough and go easy on your leg if you're accepted to the team. I'm not 10 anymore, I'll be fine.
You're a real tough 19-year-old.
Toby sighed and rolled their eyes before they thought better of it. They hugged their brother and sister, and Sarah kissed her brow and smiled. I'll visit again as soon as I found a job, okay?
Likewise, but when I get a break, I'll drop by over reading week.
Reading week is probably what finals week is. Of course, take care. Quinn looked at me one more time.
You seem like a good kid too, Casey. Look after yourself and Tobes. Be careful.
We'll have to do this again sometime. For sure. See y'all again soon. But we never learned whether that was a tattoo or a glove. We'll probably learn later. We can finally enjoy our sweets in peace now. No worries. It actually ended up being more fun than I expected, though I really wanted to dig into my chocolate. Good, I was definitely sweating there. Quinn can be so difficult, but he ended up warming up to you near the end of it. Really? I couldn't tell. He's pretty subtle. Also, Toby pointed to the corner of their mouth and made a circle around it. You got some chocolate on your face, right there. Oh, thanks for letting me know. That definitely would have been a smooch in the romantic route. I licked it off and Toby laughed. You've pushed it further away, silly, and there's some on your nose, too, and your cheek? How did you even get it there? It's a skill. That initial moment there reads like, oh yeah, hey, this is your cue to go back and play the romantic route. Anyway, we spent a few more minutes at the cafe. Oh, it's already so late. Oh, night theme. Toby and I stepped out shortly afterwards to catch our buses. They rubbed their hands together. I suppose I'll be okay, though. I did most of my homework before my shift, so that unexpected family reunion was really alright today. Didn't, secretly ruin your afternoon or anything. I meant what I said earlier. It's good. I'm glad I went. Thanks for inviting me along. No problem. Come back anytime, okay? And let me know if you want to see Quinn and Sarah again. Sarah would at least want to chat with you again, and I'm sure Quinn does too. Deal. Alright, I'll see you at school on Monday, right? Those tryout results should be available any moment now. You bet. We'll have to celebrate as soon as they are. I'm sure it'll be good news. I returned to the dorms, where 1 week passed, and suddenly, it was October. Chapter 5 already? Wow, how many... This is a very, high speed type thing. I don't know, I'm also just used to very long visual novels. I assume these are fast routes, but there's so much variance between routes. That's where you get the value. Anyway. I settled in my usual spot with a steaming coffee from the cafeteria and looked around. Toby was nowhere in the room. Good morning, Casey. It's lovely out, isn't it? I'm glad the weather's behaving itself. These warm up to October temperatures are perfect. James was practically glowing. I suppose so.
Especially if you get to go and have coffee with your crush from the Students' Union on such a nice day. So how are you today? You seem a little distracted.
Oh, sorry, James. It sounds like it'll be a great date.
Ugh, stop. You've made my attempt to boast weirdly embarrassing. What's a poor pre-med student to do? Woe's me, etc., etc.
Sorry, I'm distracted. Have you seen Toby? James tilted his head the tiniest bit.
No, I actually haven't seen him today. It's a little weird. It's the first class of the day. Maybe they just decided to skip. I've done that sparingly before if I'm like really sick or exhausted. That would be unusual though. I've never seen Toby skip a class for as long as I've known them. What day is it today?
I think it's the 3rd? Why?
Oh, I see.
When he noticed my quizzical look, we went back to being all smiles.
Don't mind me, just talking to myself. James. Anyway, I heard you two talking. The results of the soccer tryouts are being released today, right? They'll probably show up to see how they did, so they'll be on campus. Try sending them a text.
Thanks, James. I'll do that.
No problem. I was glad I was able to help.
We're just gonna pretend you didn't have anything meaningful to say.
You bet. Sorry. Toby and I may be rivals, but I have rivalry ethics I like to stick to.
Alright, Mr. Pre-Med.
Mr. Best Pre-Med to you. We should focus on class for now, yeah? Mr. Ego Med. That doesn't even make sense, but keep trying. I guess we're getting started.
Class went by fairly fast. James didn't give me any more time to chat. He hit it out pretty well immediately, saying something about needing to prep for his date. Looking for Toby would likely be the most efficient way to spend my time. Followed up on James's advice and sent Toby a quick text. Toby, are you here today? Toby, are you here today? It took a few minutes, but a new text popped up on my screen. Yeah, I'm just practicing on the soccer field. Don't worry about me. Are you sure? It's kind of weird of you to skip class. It's been a rough morning. I want to do something other than sit and worry, you know? I should let you know. I'll do that next time. The next text took a minute or so to come in. The next text took a minute or two to come in. Say, if it's not too much trouble for you, it'd be nice if we could hang out for a while. Cheer me up. No pressure or anything if you're busy. Oh, that's cool. Of course I'll come. I'll be right there. However, Toby wasn't eagerly practicing as I expected them to be. Instead, they sat as a lonely speck in the center of the field, only accompanied by pylons. They'd drawn their leg close to their body and pushed it gently, testing it. Every attempt made them flinch and cower in pain. Oh no. I hurried over to them and Toby looked up. Their twisted grimace turned into a relieved smile. Casey? Oh, thank goodness. What happened? Are you okay? Yeah, I slipped and fell just now. Would you mind helping me get up? Not at all. Can you actually stand? They winced as they tried to move their leg. Actually, sorry, I don't think I can yet. I'm sorry, it's really painful. We might be stuck here for a while. They turned their head away from me and ran their hand through their hair. I really am sorry. I'm such a wimp. No rush. I'll stay with you until it calms down. We can get it checked out. Oh, I wish I had as much energy and strength as you. You're well on your way to the Toby patented diamond blink. Toby blinked up at me slowly with watery eyes, and we gazed at each other for a minute. I wasn't as eloquent as I wanted it to be. Despite himself, Toby laughed, though. You're so kind, Casey. Their face fell again and they sighed. But I don't know if I can be a good friend to you. I might ruin everything. Toby is very anxious about all the things. Toby? They sobbed quietly, burying their face in their hands. Oh no. If you really knew me, if you knew what I'd done. They couldn't finish. Tears rolled down their pale cheeks and they hiccuped and sobbed, turning away from me. I anxiously paced in place for a few seconds. Should I hug them? Tell them to be okay, even though I don't really fully understand? Finally, I just plopped down beside the distraught student. Hey. It's okay. I'm right there. Tell me if you need a hug or anything, okay? Or if you need some space, or... They barely turned back to me, rubbing harshly at their tears, sniffled, and nodded. Thanks. Just give you a minute. Oh, how embarrassing. Sorry for all the crying. I'm good now. It's probably kind of awkward. I suddenly burst into uncontrollable tears like that. It's been a really weird week, and you don't have to apologize. It's alright. We all have weird days or weeks. Sometimes you're just sad. There's nothing you can do but cry about it. It's cool. Toby still looked exhausted and miserable, but a small smile quivered on their lips when I reassured them. You're spoiling me. You don't have to be this nice to me, you know? It's okay. Even if I get hurt, if someone were to call me names or do something that would affect me badly, They looked down and hugged their knees against themselves. I should be able to take it, I think. I was speechless for a second. What? No, you don't. Huh? I... Don't think like that, Toby. You don't deserve anything like that, trust me. They stared at me as if this was a brand new concept, and I frowned and continued. If you had a friend who made a mistake and they grew from it... Ugh, I did that with the wrong voice. If you had a friend who'd made a mistake and they grew from it and tried to fix it as best they could, and people began to harass them, would you think they're justified in doing that? Well, no, but... No, you wouldn't. And you shouldn't do that to yourself, either. Alright. They nodded slowly, processing my words. And let's try and head to the nurse's office. I don't think I'll be able to stand without support right now, but if I can borrow your shoulder, it'll work. Of course, let's go. I helped Toby stand up after a few failed attempts. When I finally managed to get them standing, they almost fell again, and they clutched onto me clumsily. Casey? I didn't mean to cry so much. I guess what I'm trying to say is I felt sad for a while, so thanks for hearing me out. I settled down, and Toby awkwardly slid into a seat without putting any weight on their leg as soon as they checked in. A few minutes later, a nurse came in and gestured for them to come to the back. I'll be back soon, Casey, but it's okay if you need to or want to head out. It's alright, I'll stay here. About an hour later, Toby hopped out of the office. Oh, you're still waiting. Thank you. Toby smiled down at me, and I took a moment to glance at their leg. A thick ice pack was bound tightly against their calf, and they leaned on the crutch. I did damage something. She said I need to go see my doctor. Ugh, really? Yeah, I'll keep you posted. I should be good with some rest, though. Honestly, this injury was completely unnecessary. Before you came, I was working myself really hard back there. I wanted to run hard enough to only be able to focus on my heart rate and breathing. Wanted to distract myself somehow. Today's not been the best day for me. I gazed at them, waiting for them to continue, and they sank down beside me and sighed. I broke up with my ex on this day a few years ago now, and it was really ugly. I didn't even miss him, per se, but
ran back into him recently, and it just brought all his memories back. I'm ashamed of how I behaved back then. This sucks, though. I hope I didn't injure myself too badly. They paused. Oh, the tryout results were posted today. I can't believe I forgot. They almost leapt out of their chair, and a sparkle glinted in their gaze as they hopped from foot to foot. Casey, I know I've already spent a lot of time with you today, but would you mind checking it out with me, pretty please? I love that they're kind of like bouncing in excitement. They're getting like a little stim. I like it. I'm so nervous and excited. I've got to share this with someone. Heck yeah, let's check it out. I'm enthused. Express indifference is a bad choice. Like, it's such a clear choice there. That being said, I kind of want to come back here and do that to get bad end at some point. But anyway, let's check it out. Yeah, library. Let's check it out. Let's check it out, Goody. Yeah. Hi. Anyway, really? Of course. I like being with you, Toby. Library's thinking, Dad, who are you talking to? And why are you saying it all weird? What do you think, Library Cat? He's looking at the door. He's like, come on, man. Why is the door closed? Don't worry, kitty. Only a little longer. But, I guess I should just say thank you, right? Okay, let's go then. Oh, I'm so excited I can barely sit still. We returned to the gym together, though Toby could keep up with help from the crutch this time. Their sore leg was all but forgotten. They carried their head high and chatted excitedly about all the cool trips the team got to go on. They read the list and didn't speak a word in anticipation. Casey, I did it! I'm in! Oh, I clicked too fast. Wow, that's awesome! They almost leapt for joy before they remembered their leg. Instead, they did a few excited one-legged hops. We have to celebrate. Do you have more time? I do. We go to the food court. That's a wonderful idea. Let me get showered first. I really need it. Toby hummed the whole way down to the cafeteria, and they turned around and beamed at me. Pick whatever you like, Casey. My treat. No way. We're celebrating you today. It's my treat. Yay! It's dating sim. I decided, I didn't have the camera set up for board games tonight. I was planning on playing, like, Matrix Overload or something similar. And I didn't have the camera set up, so I was like, yeah, I haven't done a visual novel in forever. So, visual novel. We got Casey, our funky little character here. We got Toby, the route we're on right now. There's actually, this had a choice between a platonic route and a romantic route, so I picked the platonic route. Might come back for the romantic route later. We'll see. Anyway, to catch you up on what's happening, Toby here, yeah, thanks for lurking. Toby aggravated a childhood injury trying to like get exercise in for soccer, and now we're celebrating with them for making the soccer team. Oh, you're on like break from class right now. Fair enough. Well, I hope you've been learning neat things. Let's get back to the game we're playing. Toby grinned mischievously. You helped me a lot today, I insist. Okay. This time you get to treat me again, but after that it's my turn. I ordered a vanilla latte with soy milk, and Toby ordered a banana split from a little ice cream store in the cafeteria. Thanks for finding me today, Casey. This is a rough time of year for me, but just having someone to listen to made a big difference. Thanks for approaching me during orientation. I can't believe how lucky I am to be your friend. I'll get this leg cleared at my doctor's, and then I'll be ready to start training. Let's do this. Oh, chapter 6 already. Someone rapped briefly on my door, unpleasantly jolting me out of my sleep. Watery sunlight left a window-shaped patch of light on my sheets. I sat up and blinked blearily. Oh, it's Nova. Wake up, I'm coming in! I barely uttered an okay before someone familiar hurried into my room. She smiled brightly. Morning! Wait, why are you here? We're dorm neighbors, you know? I didn't just randomly decide to first locate and then burst into your room. We've totally seen each other around the dorms. No way. Yes way? It's true. I'm surprised you never noticed. Here, come look. Nova practically dragged me out of bed, so I reluctantly followed her. So it is. See, this is my place, literally right next to your room. She gestured to a picture on the wall of her and another woman with long braids, as well as your backpack in the corner of the room. I assume this is the picture they're talking about here. Oh, you all can see my cursor. Okay. I'm glad you can, because that gesturing wouldn't have made much sense without. When she noticed I was still vaguely skeptical, she impatiently gestured to the room's name tag, as we called them. It's just a little screen with a room inhabitant's basic info. Sure enough, it read Nova, first-year student. That enough proof for you? Yeah, sorry about that. No worries, I mean, I kinda did barge in and all. I should have introduced myself as your neighbor sooner. It has been a couple months. It's just I need a neighborly favor. Oh? I want to impress someone. You're the only in-dorm person I know who could be my wing pal. Okay, I see. I guess I have some time to help. Especially since you woke me up at 6:30 a.m. Wow. Sorry, but we'll have our first pick of dry pancakes for breakfast this morning, and I'll grab you a coffee later if you help. Okay, that sounds like a fair trade-off. Throw in a donut, and I'll be ready to assist. Deal. So, who are we trying to impress? Just the prettiest girl on campus, Allie. Her name sounds familiar. It doesn't. You'll see her soon. She actually lives in the dorms too. I've just been too shy to even say hi here. Nova scribbled a number on a piece of paper. Take my number, just in case. I want to keep you updated on how it goes if you slip away early. Alright, let's see if we can talk to her. I like that it shows like all the little transitions as you're walking somewhere. It gives the feel of wandering around this campus a little bit. Just vaguely. I like it. Here we are. The dining hall was still pretty calm. Only 24 students munched sleepily on their breakfast, some catching up on school news on their phones, others nursing their coffee absent-mindedly. I'd like to set up Fall's dorms. Sorry about that. I'd like to set up the Fall's dorms from the day I read about them. Students were put together in dorms depending on their academic year and program type, so it was easy to get to know each other. Sundial primarily hosted first and second year students, but if Falls was really tight on space, they'd let a handful of third years live on the top floor. That being said, I tended to keep away from the crowd, so I hadn't really met many of the other Sundial first and second years. I guess it made sense that I hadn't met Nova here before after all. I glanced over at the offered pancakes. A student bit into one and there was a sudden abundance of crumbs. Well, Falls was never renowned for its culinary prowess. Nova wasn't kidding about dry pancakes. I looked at Nova expecting her to return my quip, but however, she was frozen to her spot. Her gaze was fixed on a red-haired woman who just settled down. I squinted and promptly recognized her. Was she really looking at Allison, the student union event manager? Everybody knew of her. She was all over the union's websites with their other student rep, Devlin. Said that name backwards. It's Devlin. How haven't I even noticed that she lives in the dorm? She's like a minor celebrity. I mean, she's a third year, so I wouldn't expect her here, but guess I just better hone my observation skills. Nova blushed faintly, and I gave her a gentle push, much to her annoyance. What are you doing? Come on, she isn't sitting with anyone yet. Go join her. When I noticed Nova still couldn't move, I gently walked over to Allison, my own heart pounding in my throat. This seemed unceremonious at best. I felt several sets of eyes on me. Hi. Allison turned around and shifted into an easygoing smile. What are we gonna give Allie as a voice? Can I apply an inflection to the voice that would suit this character? We'll see. Hello. I don't think I've met you before. It's a little nose here. That's the best I can do. I heard Nova's feet pattering against the floor, and I quickly made some space for her. She skidded to an awkward halt and tried to smile. Hang on, isn't there a lurk command? Lurk. I always forget I have chat commands. I'm Casey, and this is... Nova! I'm Nova. It's a pleasure to meet you. Cool. I'm Allison, as you probably know, but please, call me Allie. You must be first years, right? I love meeting new students. Come sit with me. What do you think of falls so far? Nova settled beside Allison. I took Nova's right side. It's nice to be able to chat with someone at breakfast. Oddly enough, people kind of avoid me outside of events. I suppose I am advertising for the union half the time. Anyway, so what do you think of falls? There's no way people would avoid you. You're... Oh, wait, you two don't even have food yet. Go grab some first. Nova jumped up immediately, almost hitting the table in the process, and she rushed over to the serving table. I hurried after her. Did you see that? She's... a fellow human? Really cute. Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is. I believe in you, Nova. Just keep her cool. Yeah, keep her cool, Amber. Come here, kitty. Come on. You can do it. Come up here. He's like, no, Dad. I don't want to be on camera. I just want to sit down here and get pets. Anyway, we ambled back to Allie with our dry pancakes. She waved cheerily and took a bite out of her own crumbling pancake before she shrugged. There we go. So, tell me about yourselves. Not to be the stereotypical events runner, but are you going to any events this year? I'm taking fine arts. Nova and I are actually dorm neighbors. We've been keeping tabs on the soccer tournament together. Yep, that's correct. I'm in the Bachelor of Arts program with Native Studies as my major. Allie's eyes lit up. Sports events are out of my jurisdiction, but I'm glad you're involved with campus life. Plus, did you know there's a soccer match going on today? It's a qualifying round for the upcoming championship. Also, Nova, you wouldn't be the Nova, right? No, well, yes, I'm definitely not a the prefix Nova, but I'm that Nova, just Nova. Wow, you're incredible, you know. We should go out for coffee and discuss your discoveries. Ask for her number. Do it. Sure, let's. Excellent. Okay, now that you two are here anyway, let me tell you about the other events. How does Casey feel about the events? No one will ever know. Oh, I got a smudge on my glasses again. Why does this happen so often? I like this little, like, you know, day-to-day, like, yeah. I like this as the day-to-day theme. Very good. Okay. Allie had been so enthused by other upcoming events that I had to bolt off to my early morning classes as soon as she'd taken a break to drink some water. Luckily, I'd be able to sneak into the back of the classroom. Too bad said class was still on the other side of campus. This was way too much of a morning workout. Seeing Nova flounder around Allie had kind of been sweet, though. I quietly hoped that things would work out. I hope things work out, too. They'd be cute. As I rushed to catch up on what I'd missed, my phone buzzed quietly. I glanced down to find it buzzing again. 2 texts had come in. 2 of them. One was from Nova begging me to meet up after class, and the other one... Toby? I opened the text. Casey, you won't believe what just happened. The referee said we won during our match against the opposing team, the werewolves from East Seoul, today, and the werewolves were super angry. It almost became a huge fight. One of my teammates might even be expelled. I went to the clinic to try and calm down. I'm still shaking. Any chance you could drop by for just like a little bit? I can't visit them both. I need to pick one. I kind of want to go see Toby. Because we don't have any points with Nova. Let's go see Toby. They could probably use the company more. I'll talk with Nova tonight. As soon as the professor finished writing his final notes, I hurried over to the medical wing of the school, given that I still remembered the path from last time. Thanks, hon. I'm glad you're in chat, usually. Usually when there are people in chat, they're not people I know quite yet. Where was I? Remembering the path from last time. There we go. At least Toby isn't hurt this time around. I hope. Casey, thank you so much for coming. I know it was short notice. They're okay, thank goodness. Toby did look a little pale from the stress, but they didn't seem to be injured, at least. I hope I didn't interrupt anything. I was helping Nova with something, but I'll catch up with her. What happened? Nova? Like, history Nova? The Nova. Why? I know her too. She's a friend of my friend. I'm pretty sure I saw you 2 together at the soccer tryouts, right? Yeah, it's a small world. She actually told me the same thing about you. This is actually, for those of you who have not gone to college on a relatively small campus, this is how it is. 90% of people, like, you can draw a through line from one group to pretty much every person on campus. Because of the way, like, you know, groups form. It's like, oh, I know this person because they do this with me and that thing. You know, you can meet a lot of people that way. Anyway, where was my brain? Go figure. I think I'm calm enough to leave the clinic. Can I catch you up on everything that happened, Casey? Of course. Let's head back to the dorms. We can chat in our room. Or would you prefer the caf? No, your room's fine. Let's go. Wow, everything in the Sundial dorms is really pretty. I'd love to live here. It looks nice, but it's kind of really expensive. The food's crumbly no matter what. You're honestly better off living at home if you can. Also true. That's too bad. Are you allowed to cook here? Yeah, actually, they typically recommend we cook in the kitchen, though. We make meals for each other and share them on Fridays. Sounds pretty decent. I nodded and got up. Hang on, I'll make you some tea. After a few minutes, I put down 2 steaming cups of fruity tea. They took theirs gratefully and traced their fingers over the curling and leaping decorations. So, about what happened today. As I texted you earlier, a fight broke out after a match with the werewolves. Specifically, it was a qualifying match for the provincial championships that are coming up. They paused, frowned, and sucked in their cheek. You know, to be honest, that team never liked us much to begin with. I'm not surprised we ended up fighting. Why?
Well, they're from the East Solsepia Institute. My blank stare spurred Toby on. Like, what? What's up with the Solsepia Institute? Sorry, I should explain. Solsepia is famous for falls, but East Sol is the other post-secondary in town. Folks from the outside usually haven't heard of it. Folks with an X. I can't tell if that's a typo or intentional. I don't know. Their students have always been snippy at falls for one reason or another, especially online. Oh, so there was bad blood prior to the match already? Yeah, but I guess they didn't have a choice but to pit us against each other since there's really not any post-secondaries around here. What started the rivalry between the schools, or they sound like jerks. I'm not gonna jump out on this rivalry like immediately. That sounds... That's a fun dialogue choice I'm gonna choose on another round. Let's say what started the rivalry between the schools. Like, is it standard, like, small town, oh, there's only 2 schools in this close area, so they have, like, a loose rivalry, or, like, what? Well, I don't know, it's always been there as far as I know. It'd be nice if they were a little bit friendlier, though. Anyway, to make a long story short, we played and my team won. According to the werewolves, the referee was biased towards falls. He called the match seconds before the werewolves scored their final point, which upset them. We also scored a goal that the werewolves disagreed with. First they were just irritated, but my injured teammate taunted them for being sore losers, and well, it escalated pretty quickly. I hurried off to the side with the rest of my team uninvolved, and the coaches broke it up pretty fast, but it got ugly. Paul's soccer message board even had to be shut down because people were arguing that much after the match. Jeez, all this over a single qualifying match? Right? I showed up to have fun and almost left with bruises. I don't know why it had to turn into such a big thing. Anyway, I'm worried that this isn't the last we've seen of them. Everybody was too angry to really let this go. You've got a point. Let me know if you want a buddy to walk home with, yeah? Thanks. That would make me feel a lot calmer already. After a little while, Toby relaxed enough to finish their cup of tea without spilling it. They sighed and got up. Thanks again, Casey. I'll go and get some rest. I need a 10-hour nap. Does that still qualify as a nap? I mean, what is the quintessential nature of a nap? To rest and less for an hour? You're no fun, Casey. Expand on the hypothetical, Casey. Okay, fair. Oh, Casey. I just remembered this. Can we still go to the ice skating festival? It's coming up soon, isn't it? Right, I'd totally forgotten about it too, but yeah, I still have the date marked off. Heck yeah, drink that water. Hydrate or dihydrate. Ugh. It's good water.
I'm a known enjoyer of water. I'm just making sure the library isn't causing problems on purpose.
He wants to go out. I'll open the door in 10 minutes, but it's okay. Oh, great. I'm excited to go with you. Me too. Oh, okay. I think I'm gonna head out for now then. Oh, do we want to give them a hug? I'm gonna give them a hug. I'm in a give hug mood. Give hug. Before you go, would a hug kind of make up for how weird today was? Yeah, sure. They walked over and we gave each other a good firm hug. Toby laughed and squeezed me lightly before they let go. I've been told I'm a pretty good hugger, to tell you the truth. I hope that also made up for pulling you away from Nova. Have a good evening, okay? You too. Bye now. Okay, we'll pick up with chapter 7. You know, it's close enough to 10 o'clock that I think I'm going to call it.
Uh, we'll pick up with Chapter 7 next time I decide to play this. Probably Tuesday if I don't have a board game set up. I was thinking about playing Ex Novo on stream, but the last video of Kermaston didn't do very well. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep it to myself. You know, it's just as enjoyable to play Ex Novo off stream as it is on stream. So, you know. What else today? Thursday. Thursday's probably next stream. I might be playing this. I might be playing a different game. Depends on how my hands are holding up. I'm either gonna be playing this or Pikmin 3 for sure. But let me think a little further ahead. Yeah, Tuesday. Depending on whether I get the board game camera set up, we might be playing Matrix Overload or a different card game. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Keep an eye on Twitter. That's where I yell about things. Okay. Yes, I do want to quit. Anyway, I might play more Heavy Bullets. I definitely play Heavy Bullets off stream. I haven't played this yet. This Overland. I've been meaning to. I've heard good things. Anyway, yeah, we'll probably play more Love Hues on Tuesdays when I don't have like a tabletop game. I know, visual novels aren't really tabletop, but like you can read a book by setting it on a table. So, you know, stretch my own branding. But yeah, Monday's probably Pikmin, just because I want to play more Pikmin. It's a good game. Yeah, Thursday's probably more Pikmin, unless, you know, some other game catches my fancy. Anyway, that's it. That's all for tonight. Before we go, though, let's see if we have anybody to go raid. I thought I saw Jubilee was streaming a little bit ago. Oh, she's still alive. Okay, she's in the middle of a BRB right now. Ooh, Creathian's playing Hades. You know what, I've been dropping in on Creathian's streams a lot. Creathian's one of the players in my D&D campaign, actually. So let's go say hi to Creathian. Creathian Omega. Okay, folks. That's it. That's all. I'll see you next stream. If I don't see you next stream, I hope you have a great week, and I hope you take care of yourself. Drink the water, get the sleeps, eat your foods, take your meds if you need them, that kind of thing. See you later.